Hey guys, it's Master Mike 2368 here. So today I'm going to be playing some Wii games on my ThinkPad. So I have an X13 Gen 2, I think it's from 2021, and I just want to see what it's like to play Wii games on here and how I can get Wii games running on a keyboard. So I know you can connect a controller and all, and that's something that probably would not be a bad idea to do. I didn't do that. I'm just playing purely on my keyboard and with the track point, which I'll be getting into at the end with Mario Galaxy. So speaking of games, I'm going to play New Super Mario Bros Wii. I'm going to play Mario Kart Wii, and I'm going to be also playing Mario Galaxy at the end. So each of these uses a different control scheme. If you've played them at all, you know that they all play slightly differently. We're going to have to do some weird remaps for them, but I'm going to be going over all of that today. So to start off, you're going to want to download Dolphin, the emulator itself. You can go to the link in the description, head over to their website, and it should be pretty simple. Just press download Dolphin, and then choose whichever version you want. I'm on Linux, so I just installed it for my package manager. I guess you can add the flat pack, but I didn't need to do that. Then once it's installed, go through the wizard if you're on Windows or anything. I have it open over here, and you're going to want to find your ROMs. So the way you can do that is you press File, Open, and just navigate to wherever they are. Now, I can't really speak about where you get ROMs or anything. That's not my place to tell you about, but you can do some research, figure that out, and then come back here with whatever games you want to set up. So once you have all that figured out, I'm going to go start going through each game and showing how I mapped it. Okay, now we're going to configure the controls. So as I mentioned earlier, each game is going to require specific controls, but we're just going to go ahead and do New Super Mario Bros Wii first. So go to Options, Configurations, and if you're playing a GameCube controller game, then you're going to want to configure up here. If you're playing a Wii game or a remote game, configure here. So make sure it's emulated Wii remote, press Configure. So this is my configuration for New Super Mario Bros Wii. I'll see if I can find a way to upload it. If not, you should be able to copy it without much issue. So I do have the nunchuck enabled. That was mostly just because I didn't really feel the need to change it once I realized I had it enabled by accident. But I'll show you what I have done. It's nothing too crazy. So I have WASD for up, down, left, and right. And we can test that out. Up, down, left, right. And that's fine. Okay, now let's look at the general buttons. So if you ever play a Mario game, you know A is normally for jump and B is to run. So I found that it'd be pretty easy to have J with my pointer finger there and then my middle finger on K for jump. That worked pretty well. 1 and 2 I don't think are used at all if you have a nunchuck. If you don't, I think that's actually the run and jump. Again, I didn't want to really configure that. Start and stop, or I guess select and start, what am I saying? I have that G and H just to be in the middle, kind of how you'd have on like a NES controller, for example, just in the middle. It doesn't really matter, but so that's the easy part. The part that I found to be a little bit harder is the motion controls. So if you've ever played this game, there's sometimes you're gonna have to shake your remote around and everything. And the way we're gonna do that is go to motion simulation and shake. So it's only gonna be shake that we're gonna configure, at least for the start of the game. I didn't go and play this entire game right now. Okay, so let's go through all of them right now. So first of all, let's start off with Z. And what Z does, at least with having the nunchuck configuration, this is the type of shake you'd do when you're just running around and you want to like do an air jump. Kind of like the Super Mario World. Is it Super Mario World that has it? No, not Super Mario World. Just like, that jump where like you spin in the air. So that's what Z does. And I just have that right there pretty near to the run and the jump and then spin jump. So that's not too hard. I have Y set to I because I don't think we use that at all. I want to have it here just in case, the game throws something at me and I need to do some other weird shake, but I have that there. And then the weirdest one, which is tilt, is X. So I have that as semicolon, just so I can have my fingers on J, K, L, and semicolon. If you want to do something else, that's totally fine. I'm just showing what I've went ahead and done. I found it to be pretty comfortable. And one thing to note is that this acts like a tilt. So if I press it, it's doing some form of tilt. I can't remember if it's like clockwise or counterclockwise tilt. However, in the World 1, Level 2, when you need to tilt those platforms, you actually need to tilt it the other way as well. And so the way I've went ahead and set this up is I've set the intensity to change if you press the left shift. So all I did was I typed this in, which is if left shift, so that means if left shift's on, then make the intensity be -10. In all other cases, make it be 10. You can just copy this over. I know it might look a little strange, but it's nothing crazy. And so I'm going to press the left shift, and you can see it changes. And we can look at the waveform, how that would change when I hold it down. And it goes more underneath, I guess. But yeah, it's more on top, more underneath. Yeah, I'm going to put some B-roll over here right now so you can see what's actually going on. But as you can tell, it does work. We're able to rotate. I have to go left, have to go right. You're able to spin jump. We're able to do all the controls. And no, I didn't go play through the whole game right now, but from what I've tested out, this actually works really good. Alright, so that was New Super Mario Bros Wii. Let's go into Mario Kart Wii. So again, we're going to go to Options, Configuration, and this time we're going to disable the Wiimote. So I'm going to set that to None. GameCube Controller. We're going to set that to Standard GameCube Controller. Press Configure. So we can create a profile. I guess I did create one. No, that's my Wii profiles. I probably should create one here, but this is my only Wii or GameCube controlled game. So it does not matter as much. But let me go ahead and walk through all the controls that I do have on here. So I have that set to J because I found that to be the most comfortable thing. I'm going to hold for gas for a while. I just found it to be pretty comfortable. B is going to be your brake or drift. So that's K. That's also pretty easy to access right there. Kind of the equivalent of how you'd occasionally press a jump in Super Mario Bros. That's where that is. X, that's look behind you. And you're not going to really need that as much, but it's still something you're going to want to be able to do semi-fast, although you don't need it as like critically accessible. So I found I to be pretty good for that, where I can just take that brake button up and just press it really quickly. That works pretty well. Y, I don't think that's for anything, so that's why I just went ahead and like put Y. I could probably just go ahead and clear that right now. And similar thing for Z. I think you can use that in lieu of one of the other buttons, maybe X. But again, I don't think you need that. I'm not using that for sure. Then start, I have that to be H, just quick access right there, start and stop. Alright, so from here on it gets a little weirder, but I'll go through it all, promise. So I have my control stick, left and right are A and D, just how you see with WASD. But for up and down, I actually have the D-pad set. So the reason I do that is because and most people with Mario Kart, you're going to prefer to play on a bike, something like the Flame Runner or the Mach bike. You need to wheelie a lot. And so I found that it was hard to access the up wheelie button if I didn't have that there. I tried some things. For my personal testing of a few hours, I found this to be the best option. If you want to change it around, feel free, but that's just what I've done. So that if you press up, down, and I'll get to some of this other stuff later in a second of what's going on fully here, but W and S just traditionally act like up and down. And left and right, you don't have to press anything that's there. Now, what's all this other stuff? I have it set, another layer set if I hold down left shift. So if I hold that down, it does two things. Firstly, up and down. Now on the control stick, act like real up and down. Because you will need to do this some. Like for example, if you want to control your tilt in the air, that's the case you would want to use this. Again, not as common as a wheelie though, in my opinion. And I also have the whole entire D-pad set, just in case you want to do like a left trick or right trick or something. So if you hold left shift and you press I, J, K, or L, then it will act like you're using the D-pad. So L over here, that is for the items. And I found it to be a little bit cumbersome if you wanted to hold a shell behind you to just hold down L while you're also holding down J, but you're occasionally pressing K. I didn't really like that. I tried changing the order as well, and I still couldn't really like it because then to press K, you'd be pressing your ring finger, and that didn't really work. So my compromise has been to press L, and you can use that traditionally. Or if you want to toggle it on and off, you can press space. So if I press space, you can see it's toggling on and it's toggling off. I'm not setting to Z right now. Toggle on, toggle off. All right. So I believe that's all for this. I'll put some footage up here on screen, and then we'll go over to the next one. Alright, last but certainly not least, we're going to do Super Mario Galaxy. So again, we're going to go over to Options, Configuration, and this time we're going to disable the game controller and re-enable the Wiimote. Configure. Let's start off with the nunchuck. So we have WASD, that's going to be our movement. I found that works pretty good for a 3D game. Then C, this is our button that's going to recenter our camera. So I have that as H for this, and I know for some other games that have been my start, you certainly can have it there, but I also realized that for this game, G works as well. You're not going to have like a map or anything, so that works fine. Then K is going to be your crouch button. You're also going to use this for long jumps. So again, it feels like it should be that jump roll, but like it's not really a jump. Like it feels like something you should still be able to access pretty fast. I found myself really wanting to go there a lot. In terms of what I do use for jumping, I have spacebar set that just felt really natural with the 3D game. And then for B, that's going to be shooting at your star bits, and that's going to be L. That's what I chose because I found if I had like a J or even K, I was kind of pressing it a little more than I should have. You want to be a little bit more conscious and thinking through when you do that. So I found L worked well. I don't think we need a 1 or 2 set, so you probably don't need to do that. Minus is G. You could also have plus there. I don't think it really matters. I have the D-pad set here for I, J, K, and L. I think you need D-pad up to set the camera, and maybe the entire D-pad for the game. I can't fully remember. I only played a little bit here. But that's there just in case you need it. I don't think it's anything really fast-paced though, so that's fine. Now in terms of motion controls, what I've went ahead and done is I've set X to be J. So this is going to be your spin, like how you're going to spin in the air for your second jump, or like spin and knock over enemies, and I found that to work pretty well. Y and Z, that's I and O. From what I've played so far of the game again, you don't really need this a whole lot. I can't quite remember how it comes to effect with some of those harder missions or like weird missions where like you're on the water paths. But in terms of what I played so far of the game, it seems to actually work just fine with just having X there. Then for your pointer, you're going to use your mouse for that. So I have my track point on my ThinkPad, and I found that works really well. Like probably even better than I was expecting it to. Whenever I want to do something, I just move it over there, do it really quickly, and then move my fingers back. Very seamless, very fast. If you have a ThinkPad, gotta give this a shot. Otherwise, what I would say is use your just general trackpad and probably dial that sensitivity up just so that you can probably do it like with your thumb really quickly. Move it across the screen, move it back, and that'll be good. So, in conclusion, I don't think you should buy a ThinkPad just to play Wii games on it. The main reason I'm doing this is just to see how it would run for something that I already have lying around, and it runs pretty well. I know sometimes in the video it might have lagged a little bit. That was just because I was screen recording mostly. I found that both Mario Kart Wii and New Super Mario Bros Wii ran pretty good at 1080p. There's a little bit of stuttering in Mario Kart, but overall they ran out pretty good at 3 times at 1080p. Mario Galaxy I did turn down to 720p, and then that ran perfectly fine when I wasn't recording. And when I was recording, you can see a little bit of slowdowns, but definitely would say if this interests you, you should check it out, see if you have much fun doing it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you liked seeing what games I was playing on my Wii. Let me know if there's something that you'd like to see me try out, or something that you would personally like to try out on a laptop or something like that. Just that would work well on a keyboard for a Wii game. So that's all for this one. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.